I am going to be talking to you guys about Facebook. Surprise, right? Because I'm all over Facebook. I love Facebook. If you followed me, you know that my journey pretty much started out on Facebook. That's how I became successful as a coach. When I was I think I said this in the last webinar that I did for you guys, but when I was a freshman in college, that's when Facebook came out. So I love Facebook. I feel like I get it, and the most important thing with Facebook is that you have to be yourself. You have to be yourself. And I did not start out as a rock star coach. I absolutely did not. It's not like the minute I signed up, I was like, okay, I get this coaching thing. I get it. I'm going to be 5-star in a year and whatever your goals are. I didn't do anything with it for a good 8 months. And I understood Facebook. I was posting on Facebook. I just wasn't posting the right stuff. And I wasn't doing the background, like the things behind the scenes type things that would make me as a successful coach. And now that I know what to do, I want to be able to share all of that with you guys. So I'm going to be sharing all of my tips that has made me successful as a coach through using Facebook. There are other things that I've done, now focusing on Instagram and Cody and emailing people and stuff like that. But when I first started really working the business at the end of 2011, I focused solely on Facebook. And at that time, Instagram wasn't out, and it was like Twitter or Facebook or Sparks People or, whatever other avenue. And I said, I get Facebook, I'm going to do it. And I opened a like page before anyone else. And I did it because my sisters said, Meg, you're driving us crazy with your posts. I think I told you guys that. But, so I did it, and it didn't make sense to me at first. I had to figure things out on my own. I had to trial and error a lot of stuff in order to make it successful. And Kaylee, come here. Let's see if she'll be nice and come over here. Come here. Come on. Oh, come here. No. Come here. All right, you guys get to see the puppy. Sorry for the side note. Come here. Come here. You want to be on the screen? Oh, don't go down. Okay. Say hi, Kaylee. Say hi. I totally get what moms, have to do now that they are, when they're trying to manage their kids and their family and coaching and everything like that. You never know when Kaylee's going to be good. You never know when she's going to be bad. It's craziness, and she was sleeping 2 minutes ago. But anyway, so I'm going to be giving you guys all of my tips as to how I was successful on Facebook. Okay, so the first and most important thing about your whole Facebook world is that you have got to create your wow factor. You've got to figure out what draws people to you, what keeps people coming back to see more of your posts, what keeps them guessing, what makes you unique, and original, what makes you relatable, what makes you 100% you. What I think is probably the most, the best thing that you could ever say to me is that she's just so relatable. And I saw someone's comment on the last webinar saying that, and that means a lot, because I really pride myself on being, this is me, this is what I'm struggling with, this is what I'm good at, I'm not sugarcoating anything, so you want to adapt that. Okay, you don't want to have to be sugarcoating things to people. You don't want to have to be pretending like you're this perfect fitness role model all the time, because that's unrealistic. People don't respond to that. People respond to people who are going through struggles and figure out how to overcome them. For instance, when I broke my wrist, I thought that was the end of my world. I was like, how am I supposed to work out? And, I found a way to spin it into something positive and a way to inspire people. I could have let it bring me down, but I didn't. And I think that, a lot of my coaches said that was a lesson for them, to show them that, there really are no excuses. If you want something bad enough, you just keep going. Okay, so you got to adapt your wow factor. Okay, so why does social media and adapting your wow factor relate to coaching? Okay, every single coach that's doing well in this business, the top 10, We're all over social media. And the reason that that is that through social media, you can connect with people so much. Kaylee, get down. So much faster. So much faster. And, you know, it's nice to do things face-to-face. It is. I still definitely recommend doing things face-to-face. But when you can reach out to, 6 to 10 people in 20 minutes, that's huge. If you're doing that face-to-face, things get sidetracked. You end up talking to the same person for an hour and a half, and then, oh, there goes your day. So you want to make sure that you are doing this business smart. And social media is the fastest way to connect with people and grow your business. Okay, so, the way that it works is that through your Facebook page and your like page, and, oh my God, I'm sorry, you guys. You'd think that I'd be a lot more professional. I'm sorry. But, it shows you that real life really comes in. But, your friends tell their friends, tell their friends, tell their friends about you. So that's why when you create that wow factor, you want people to keep coming back. You want to be giving them, posts that give meaning to their life, not just things that, I had a random thought, so I'm going to post it. I used to do that, I understand, and that's when Facebook was a little less strict on what posts made it to the newsfeed. And sometimes those random blonde moments or random thoughts would get a lot of comments or likes, and every once in a while you can still do that stuff. But for the most part, you've got to be giving people good content. You turn your connections into more people, and you help them connect with their goal, and then more people connect to their goal, and continue on and on and on. And it is 100% possible to create a 6 to 7 figure income or more through Facebook. I mean, look at Lindsay Matway. Everything is on Facebook. Look at Janelle Summers. Everything is on Facebook and Instagram now. Mindy Wonder and I, before Instagram, we were both 6-figure income earners. I would never, ever, if you would have told me 3 years ago when I was first starting out at this and getting my $20 checks, that this was going to turn into what it is, I would have said that you were crazy. But then when I started to see that I created a wow factor, that I created something that had people coming back to me and wanted more, I started to believe in it. And believing in it, what caused me to quit my job and take this on full time. Okay, so your wow factor, it can be created at any time. So if you've been a coach for several years and you're like, I still don't know what my wow factor is, that's okay. You can create it right now. I was a coach for a year and a half before I figured out my wow factor. So, anytime. If you're a new coach, then get going. You can start out and be the next Brittany Leggett, who started in January of 2013 and ended as an elite 5-star coach. I think that's just so inspiring. Set your goals and set your wow factor and just go. Be patient and take the next steps that I'm going to be sharing you through this webinar into play with your business. When we give you these tips through these webinars, the webinar with Mindy on Monday on how to get a coach started right, and my webinar before that, and then Scotty's, the reason that we're giving you this stuff is not just to make you feel good. It's not. It's to give you action steps with your business, things that you can put into practice that are working for us. And if you do it, you're going to see results. Okay, things to remember. You've got to remember, this is so important. And I bring this up to my new coaches as soon as they sign up, because for some reason, becoming a Beachbody coach makes people think, oh my gosh, I cannot, I have to only post about Beachbody and whatever their latest sale is. And I have to stick straight to that. And I can't do other workouts. And don't do that. That is taking away from who you are. Okay? You're still the same person that you were before you signed up as a coach. You need to be building relationships with people through your posts. People are seeing who you are. They're seeing you're a real person through your posts. You want them to want to get to know you. Like I said in the last webinar that I did with you guys, your posts or your messages with people, that's when you're interested in them. Okay, you're asking them questions. You're figuring out what makes them tick, what you can help them with. with your Facebook page and your Instagram or whatever. I know we're focusing on Facebook, but with however you're connecting with your customers, that's your chance to be interesting. That's your chance to grab people's attention and make them want to be helped by you. You want to provide them with valuable content and not spam. Like I said on the last one, if you hold up a picture of Shakeology and Smile or a workout DVD and stuff, they do something creative, and, it's good to do the latest sales that are coming out with Beachbody, but don't make them salesy. Make them you. Put a spin on it. Okay, step number 1, what makes you you? You've got a list, I would recommend listing your top 10 hobbies of what makes you you, and it doesn't have to be just fitness and nutrition, okay? Create 1 to 3 posts for each hobby. Go on Pinterest or Google Images and find images to match that hobby, or come up with good content and just a status update that focuses on that hobby. Take your own pictures, and that makes it more original and more inspiring. And I've noticed that when I do my own pictures, a lot of people have asked me, like, what apps do you use? I have an iPhone. I just set it on recording, and after I'm watching it, I do a snapshot of whatever pose I wanted. A lot of people use burst mode. There's so many different apps to make your pictures look professional. Okay? You want to make these pictures look appealing to the eye. You want to make sure that when you're putting the wording and things on it, don't make it so that you can't see. I see some really great pictures, but then if you use bright pink or lime green or, some pictures on backgrounds, you can't see it. And people are not going to get the point. They're going to be like, oh, or if you're using a ton of different colors, that's just too much for people. So keep it simple, and it looks more classic. It looks better to keep it more simple. Janelle Summers does an amazing job. I love her pictures. Every single time I'm like, that's such a great idea. Mindy Wonder, I love her pictures. Sometimes I have some good ones. Brandy Botts, Scotty Hobbs, Lindsay Matway. Hers are always so they catch her personality. I saw one yesterday. Gosh, I bring her up a lot, but she's the top coach, and she was talking about eyebrow pencils, and she had like it crossed and like a funny face, and it was perfect. I had a lot of people. It grabbed my attention. I was like, huh, why is she making that face? And then I noticed that her post was about eyebrow stuff. Chelsea Pearson, she just was in the 21 Day Fix infomercial, and her pictures on Facebook as well as Instagram are great. She just gets it. Okay, step number 2, figure out your audience. You've got to start rotating the 10 hobbies through your posts throughout the day and posting 3 to 4 times per day. Now, when you're posting, you might get some people that respond right away, or you might not have anyone comment on that post, and you're like, oh, I just spent so much time on that post and no one commented. That's normal. I've been there, and I just delete it, and I'm like, okay, I'll try it out at a different time. It doesn't mean that it wasn't good content. It just means that maybe the timing was wrong, or if you used a picture, you try it without a picture, because we all know that pictures are getting to the newsfeed slower than just a status update, and links and stuff go slower as well. If you're posting from your main page, you already have affinity. If Facebook can't mess with your profile page as much as it can with your like page. So, it's usually higher unless you never post on there. If you never post on there, you need to start. And at this time, I would highly recommend focusing more on your profile page than your like page, because with the like page, Facebook is making it so that only 2% of your followers actually see your posts in your newsfeed. And that's frustrating. I know. I've been there. I went Mindy Wonder and I and Janelle, we pouted for a good couple months about it, trying to figure out what was going on. And then when we figured it out, we're like, okay, we just have to change our shift. We need to focus in a different direction. And we need to figure it out to help all of you guys. So listen to me. Focus on your profile page. Still post on your like page, but only 2 to 3 times, and it's got to be good content, okay? So when I'm talking about 10 hobbies, I want you to be doing that on your profile page. If you're doing, the 10 hobbies, do it on your profile page. Good content on your like page. You've got to play around with times, topics, and see what your audience responds to. And I got to let this puppy in. She's a sassy pants. Sorry, guys. Okay, step number 3, building affinity up. Okay, lots of people complain about their affinity being low. I mean, I have, almost 14,000 followers on my like page. A lot of them came from ads. And my affinity is probably like 2,000 on a good day. And it's back to that, only 2 to 3% of your followers see your posts. So don't focus so much on your affinity. Focus on just getting good content every single day. But some ways that you can get it up is that, posts that get a lot of shares. That's the number one way to get a lot of people to get your affinity up. Posts that get a lot of likes, and then posts to get a lot of comments. And I actually think comments come before the likes. But here, let me give you a couple examples. Here's one of my rockstar coaches, Jen Hawk. And, e-cards are quick and easy and relatable and funny, and people love them. I remember when I first started really focusing on my profile page, I would do an e-card at least once a week, and it would get so many shares, it was ridiculous. Another thing that gets a lot of shares on my page are recipes. If I put up a recipe, and usually it doesn't have a picture. Sometimes if it's a catchy picture, then I'll put the picture up. But if it's just a quick recipe, I'll put it on there. That, for me, for my followers, that gets a lot of shares. And maybe a diet tip. Now you got to find what your followers want. I'm a nutritionist, so people are expecting that kind of stuff from me. What are they expecting from you? And if you do put up pictures, try to put your website on it, so when it does get shared, it gets traveled around. Or if someone tries to take the picture and use it, it has your link on it. And you want to put yourself in that person's shoes. If you saw something on someone's page, would you share it? So if you saw your picture on someone else's page, would you share it? Think about that before you post it. Okay, example post for likes. A picture of yourself and your family member dressed up for an event. That usually gets a lot of likes. If I post a picture of Kaylee and I, boom, lots of likes. If I post a picture of Kirk and I doing something, I get a lot of likes because people like seeing that kind of stuff. If I post a picture of my mom and I don't get as many likes. Poor mom. But, that's just how it is. So find out what people want to see from you. Quick fitness tips or nutrition tips, fitness motivational pictures. Okay, you got to be careful with that. Don't overwhelm people with the fitness pictures and the fitness tips. One time per day, different times, okay? Just to keep it so people aren't like, she only posts about fitness. You don't want that. And updates of your own progress pictures. Whenever I post a progress picture, I get a lot of likes and a lot of comments because people want to see, like I said in the last webinar, you don't have to be at your goal weight, but they want to see progress. They want to see you moving forward because that inspires them and that shows them that you are being the product of the product. Okay, other things to keep in mind. You want to make it one that you would click on, like I said before, just like you would share something. Think about like if you would click on that. If you do a Pinterest or a picture or a quote, make sure that it's something that inspires you and tell why it inspires you. And don't overwhelm people with it because it becomes white noise. I mean, Kirk, my fiance, looked at me the other day and he's like, my Facebook's starting to look like yours now. It's all fitness motivation. And like that's my whole news feed now. Because I used to look at his his newsfeed on his Facebook. It was more interesting to me because I was like, oh, it's all fitness on mine. That's all it is, because all my friends are coaches, or, you know, my customers or whatever. So, you know, try to break it up and do things that really do catch people's eyes. Another thing that you can do is, and I wouldn't overuse this, I would definitely not overuse this, but every once in a while, put click like if you worked out today, or click like if at the beginning of it, or if it's something that you really, really want to get into the newsfeed. I would say, I have done this before, click like if you see this in your newsfeed. And that pushes it into more people's newsfeeds. The only thing with this is that people almost just click like, they see it and they don't read it. So be careful with that. Recipes. A lot of my coaches will post, you know, hey, I will get, you know, I'll share this recipe with you if I get a certain amount of likes or comments on this post. Chelsea Pearson, who had just done the 21-Day Fix infomercial, I saw hers and I thought it was genius. You know, she was with Montel Williams, and she said that he gave her a tip for, I think, staying healthy or something, the #1 tip to staying healthy, and she would share it if she reached a certain amount of likes. Genius! Genius! You know, it's all about wording, guys. Post for comments. This is when Kirk was actually pretty active with his like page. He was doing pretty good for a while. That's my fiance. But, you know, posting questions. Ask people for their opinions. People love giving opinions. They love giving advice. You know, you're going to get a lot of comments, like I said, on progress pictures. Remember, you've got to make your posts relatable to you and your audience. Another one for comments. This was last year, right before bathing suit season. I was picking out a bathing suit, and I ended up getting the left one in the corner, top corner. But, you know, I asked people, and I got, like, record number. Let me see if I can read it. Like 124, I think it was even more after I posted this picture. It was like 300 comments or something about what bathing suit I should get, which is so crazy. Like, who cares what bathing suit I get? But, you know, it was something that had people giving their advice. Okay, post to get likes and comments. So this is a double whammy, likes and comments. Progress pictures. Are you guys seeing a pattern? When you post the progress pictures, it's better accountability for yourself, and it gets a lot of people interacting with you. In the fitness business, show your results. We are in the fitness business, so you got to show your results, and always work to be a better version of ourselves. Okay, so people to follow to see good posts. Okay, this is something I want to make sure I mention. You are not taking these people's posts, okay? If you are guilty of taking someone's post and just copying and pasting it, you take that out of your job description right now, because you will not become successful taking other people's posts. You want to know why? It's not you. It doesn't sound like you. If you're constantly taking other people's posts, your friends can notice that. I notice it. You know, if I see someone who, you know, just doesn't sound off, if I know the person and I'm like, that doesn't sound like them, continue to scroll and I can see another person with that same post and I'm like, huh, don't do that. Why would you jip yourself like that? You've got to make sure that these sound like you. So use people's posts as inspirations. If you see one of us post something that you like, take it, but word it differently. Make it sound like you. I have a very unique way of talking in my posts. I do. And Mindy has a special way, and Scotty has a special way, and Brandy Botts and Janelle Summers. You know, we all do different stuff. Okay, find out what's different about you and just reword it. So these are some people to follow. Janelle, me, Mindy Wonder, Chelsea Pearson, Brandy Botts, Lindsay Matway, Chris Balmer for guys. I think he does an amazing job on Facebook and Instagram. His pictures are really good. His videos are hilarious. My fiance loves him. He thinks he's so funny. Scotty, David Ingram, Wayne Wyatt, and then Obi-Wan Shrednobi. Rob Pearson. He's I spelled his last name wrong. It's Pearson. And it's Chelsea's husband now. And a long story about why his name is Obi-Wan Shrednobi, but basically people from Herbalife and stuff stole his progress pictures, and he got kicked off Facebook. Lame. Okay, so focus on quality. You've got to make your pictures eye-catching. You've got to make sure each picture has originality. It's a reflection of you. Okay, so if you say that you spend a workout and you're taking all these pictures, and at the end you're like, oh, these are not very good, don't post them. Don't post them. Kirk and I did I'm talking about him a lot, I'm sorry, but Kirk and I did a Chalene Johnson hit that she had posted on Instagram the other day, and we had to record ourselves. And we got done, and we were already upstairs and drinking our Shakeology, and I looked at the video, and my head was chopped off the whole time, which I blame him for. But, you know, I wasn't going to post that video. I really wanted to, because I'm like, man, my knees were pulled up high, and my form was awesome. Can't see my head. So I didn't post it, okay? So if you have a session where, you know, you don't get anything, don't post it. This is your business. You've got to look professional. Think about maybe doing a session with a photographer. I know Jen Delvaux and her best friend Stacy have done that, and they went through and got a whole bunch of different pictures, professional pictures, and then you get it and you can post them whenever you want. You can put words on them, and they're pretty pictures, a lot better than mine look. Think quality of pictures over quantity. So when I first started Facebook, you know, I could post 6 or 7 times per day and get a good response on every single time that I posted. But now things are changing. People get bored. They want to see maybe 2 or 3 times per day, okay? So you don't have to go crazy. That takes a little bit of stress off of you, but make sure it's good quality over quantity. We have differing opinions of what's interesting and what's not, but as long as you are being you, you're going to attract more people that are like you. I think it's hilarious when I'm talking to my coaches about stuff, and I'm like, gosh, you sound so much like me. You know, the way that you respond is so much like me. And then it's like, duh, I attracted them to me. They're on my team. We're pretty much the same person. You know, we have very many similarities and everything. So pay attention to what's in the background. I'm not going to sell my friend under the bus. I won't tell her name. But I saw this on Instagram and Facebook, and she was showing a progress picture. So she was like flexing her arm, and she had the camera pointed at the mirror. It must have been at a gym, and the stall door was open, and the toilet was right there. And she's like, ignore the toilet. I'm not going to ignore the toilet because it's in your picture. You know, like, you tell me to ignore it, and then I go straight to it. So make sure there's not stuff in your backgrounds. You know, there's sometimes where I'll get done, you know, filming something, and I notice there's like a tissue box or, you know, something random, and I'm like, okay, I got to redo this. So make it look clean. Make the font readable. I talked about that before. You don't want it to be fluorescent unless it's like on a black background. You want to make sure that you can read it. Don't do too many collages. That is overwhelming, like wow. If you're using that Pick, Play, Post app to make your videos, play music and everything like that, do not do the collages. It's too much for people. It's way too much for people to focus on. So you want to have it just one basic block of what you're doing. Make sure you're interacting and engaging with your followers after you post these things. Okay, challenge group and internship posts. This is something that I really wanted to make sure that I mentioned to you guys, because this is a big part of our business and how we drive it forward. You've got to watch your timing for when you do these posts. For me personally, I know that if I post on a Monday night or a Wednesday night or a Sunday night, my posts are going to get a good response. If I post any other time about an internship or about a challenge group, I don't get as good of a response. I did post for my internship, my 1 week free internship. I posted on, I think, a Sunday afternoon and got a really good response, which threw me off. But, you know, things are always changing. Maybe my things are changing. You've got to keep it short and to the point. And this is just an idea of what I used with mine. Use my idea, but put it with your in your own words, in your own way, because there's nothing worse than, you know, I get a message from one of my coaches that's like, so-and-so is stealing my posts, or, you know, and you don't know how to handle it. Ask the person if you can use their post, change the wording, and then you're going to get more responses, because maybe when you take someone's post who they got a huge response, you're not going to get as much. You want to know why? Because it doesn't sound like you. And the reason that I use test group is, I don't know if I mentioned this last time or not, but you've always got to be staying up to date on what's going on with Facebook. So challenge group, the word challenge group used to work really well. People wanted to see challenge group. And then, you know, people started turning it into white noise. They didn't want to see your challenge group post. So then you change it into a support group or an accountability group. That got some responses. Now I'm noticing the word test group makes people really want to be a part of it, because they want to be a part of something special. So test group is the same exact thing as a challenge group. Okay, just different wording. Same thing. Okay, so now what to do? Take what I've told you and start applying it to your business. Duh. If you post something and it gets crickets, it's a good sign that it's either not a good time to post, or it's not what your audience is looking for at that time. There's been times where I will post on my page and say, you know, hey guys, I want to make sure that I'm sharing good content with you. I really want to know what you're looking for from me. And then they'll tell me, and I'm like, okay, so I know that my focus should be on this certain stuff. Don't be afraid to ask that. Don't be afraid to take chances with your business to find out what makes your page stand out. Like I said, I trial and error stuff all the time. I don't wait for my upline Janelle to tell me, you know, something's going on with Facebook, or, you know, we've got to find a way around this or whatever. I figure out what works for me, and then I share it with you guys. You can do the same thing, because you guys are all leaders. You're all leaders. Things to remember: this is your business. We cannot do this for you. If you see another coach with a good idea, ask for permission to use their post and reword it so it sounds like you. Social media is, for the most part, free. I mean, with the ads and everything on Facebook, if you're focusing on your like page, you might have to pay a little bit of money to get people to see your posts. The way to avoid that is to focus on your profile page. You will never ever have to do that, hopefully. Take what I told you on the last webinar and apply it to your business, along with the types of posts that I shared with you today. So getting lots of likes, getting lots of comments, and getting a lot of shares, and you'll be good to go. And you've got to take the relationship and the engagement from your post to a private message in order to get results with this business. So everything that I shared on that last webinar, if you missed it, you better go watch it, because everything that I taught you on that is what you do after you're getting people to see your wow factor. And that's about it. I hope you guys learned something from this. If you have any questions, just ask me in the group. I'll be checking in there after the webinar is posted.